right? Because Law and Order always has something controversial, right? And I happen to like Law and Order, and I own some of them, right? So I brought it in. And it was about separation of church and state versus religious rights, ultimately. And it came down to the welfare of a child, right? So my kids had tons of opinions about it, which was great. And we were trying to find middle ground, and that worked really well. But unfortunately, because it's a television episode, of the hundreds and hundreds of Law and Orders that are produced every year, there was no commentary on it. So I probably contributed to part of the problem about why they thought they were supposed to be talking about the issue in the film itself instead of the controversy about the issue, even though I clarified that 40 times. But
Wait, you're saying you have to repeat things?
yeah, but it was really helpful to all watch the same thing and have a conversation. But if they're all watching the same film and writing the same paper, you're going to want to stab yourself in the eye because you're reading the same paper.
Well, and that brings up interesting point that I guess I turned it on me. I was thinking about TV show. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
This is Kyle.
I do my best. I was thinking that if I taught this, I would open it up to TV shows, and I'm thinking like a geek who watches Star Trek, and often they do have very specifically controversial episodes
Or Buffy.
that they're trying to do, or Buffy. So what if it were me, I would open it up to TV shows and say you can use a TV show and you can use a certain number of fan critique. You can use people on LiveJournal who are analyzing every little bit of this.
That's a good one.
I wouldn't want them to just do that, but I think you could. I think for some of those kind of problems, you would have to open up to other kind of discourses about it, and in your paper, you'd have to acknowledge that this is this kind of genre, and they're writing about it in this kind of way. It wasn't peer-reviewed or anything, but it still has value.
I think you have to do that, especially if we're allowing them to blog. Then that would also place emphasis on the fact that we are making them write in this informal setting, but we can learn something from it. And if you allow them to blog in the class, which we make them do, then you should be allowed to let them use these fan sites, maybe.
Not only let them, but it then puts value on those fan sites, and then puts value on their own writing.
Yeah.
I think Lost would be really good for that, especially the ending of Lost, where people are talking about religion and stuff.
See, I think, and there are one of the cool things about shows in the 2000s is there are sites like, I don't know what the proper way to say that is.
I can't figure that out.
Is that there are sites like Entertainment Weekly that do these TV recaps every week of popular shows. So I'm thinking, I watched the TV show Justified, and I heard that show. Also, I watched Sons of Anarchy, which probably makes me a bad person, but I also love that show. But there are really controversial things, but every week people are writing in a more traditional format about these shows, and they aren't just, they're recaps, but they also touch on controversies. The comment sections of places like that are super interesting. So there are definitely ways to do this, I think.